Celtic have officially made it a 4th consecutive Scottish League title, as Gerrard's heroics at Rangers were not enough to keep the Hoops out. Their 55th title, 17 points away from the rivals, 112 goals scored. They look the best team in Scotland. However, Brendan Rodgers has left them before, and also in the Champions League. They did better last year, but still not enough to actually compete. So we've took over Rangers. Today we take over Celtic for the 2025 season, hoping to make them even greater. As yes, people, here we go. As you can see, the Rangers lineup for 2025/26. It's really good. Now, you might say Arnie Engel sticks out, 75 overall at 21. Kasper Schmeichel, who's really good and has just put a new deal on paper, keeping him at Celtic till 2026. Despite being quite ancient, but in this save, it looks like it will be his final season in football because he's retiring at the end of the season, which is a shame, but still, Celtic did go and sign another goalkeeper. Still not a very good one though. Ross Doohan from Aberdeen said that in a funny voice. They also signed Kieran Tierney back from Arsenal. And a striker in Benjamin Nygren, only 23, is Swedish, and he's come from Nordsjælland over in Denmark. Hopefully I've pronounced that name right, and hopefully he does quite decent here. However, I have already mentioned the attack force at Celtic. We've got Adam Eder. He did get 20 goals. Maeda got 33. Then a lot for the man on the right-hand side, Nicholas Kuhn. 21 goals, but he's been closely watched by Leipzig. Or the rumour mill in Germany actually going and saying that, as we have 2 players that have left the club. Scott Bain, a very good servant to Celtic, finally leaves, and Jeffrey Schlupp was only on loan from Crystal Palace, so he's gone back to the Eagles. He's actually going to play Europa League football. However, at Celtic, we're going one better. We're going to win the Scottish Premier League, the Scottish Cup, and continental success is saying nothing. I thought we should be in the Champions League. That's a weird one, as overall the aim is to win the Champions League title. Just like it was in the Rangers build, we don't have to go for every single trophy. Although I would like to win every trophy here in Scotland, and we cannot touch tactics. We're leaving the tweaking to Brendan Rodgers. We kind of like a director of football. Or maybe not actually, because I am allowed to touch the starting 11 players. We've got Jota now onto the right. Maeda stays on the left. And Cooney's down on the bench, because I am going to listen to offers for him. I've got a plan for Nygren, and this man has to play Bernardo. At this moment in time, though, I can't kick Conor McGregor out the team. I'm going to make him a CDM, maybe to take over from McGregor next year. Or it's not Conor McGregor, that's the cage fighter. I'm on about Callum as Jota on the right wing. He's got a song already about him at Celtic. And Nygren's going to be a left winger. I'm going to make him a backup to Maeda, because the first signing in my head is going to be a striker that has worked with Brendan Rodgers previously. But before we get into incomings, I am going to let some out of the club. I can't find many rumours between Celtic outgoings and incomings, apart from Nicholas Kuhn, who's rumoured with an outgoing, as there's Johnny Kenny, and Yang Hyun Jun. I'm getting the experienced or inexperienced attackers out of the club, as my first thought was Jamie Vardy of Leicester, but it looks like he didn't want to actually play football. He changed his mind and went ahead and retired. So my second option is a player who played under Brendan Rodgers. His career's gone downhill. Last year on loan in the Championship, Kelechi Iheanacho. This man was once going to be Aguero's replacement, but unfortunately fell down the ranks further than Gabriel Jesus did. He brings experience. Is he going to win the Champions League with us? Probably not. But he can help Nygren grow, and also Nicholas Kuhn. No offers for him yet, which is brilliant, as now I'm going to go shopping in the league that Celtic have been in for a little while now, and I've got 3 players on my radar. Hong Jun Sang, 23-year-old, but unfortunately a striker. We've just signed one of them. We've got King Bon, and then we've got Hwang Jae-won. This guy at Daegu I used last year in a Daegu save, and he was absolutely brilliant, so guess what? I'm going to sign him again, as this guy could be brilliant for us. Yes, he's a right back, but when you look at the positions he plays, he can literally go anywhere on the field. And we might already have to start thinking about changing the position of him, because as you can see, Season 1, I would say is a high success. I don't like the growth in the midfield. I think Engels could have done a lot better, but our defence has improved. Kieran Tierney's brought a lot to the back line, apart from in Kasper Schmeichel, who's leaving us at 39. On the bench, we've got Nygren, the only player I changed the position of, going up by a +3, and he's only 24-year-old. However, the best player at the club is the player ahead of him in Diaz Maeda. Also, Nicholas Gunn going up, so he must have got game time over the winger that we did not change in Jota, so Jota needs to go to the right. Because Kuhn, I can just see leaving. Leipzig are desperately after him, and I tried to make him stay by wearing the Germany kit, but I don't think it's a success. I think he'll leave us, but Jota still loved just equally by the Celtic fans, or maybe even more as Hwang Jae-won. What I'm going to do is make him a CDM, because Callum McGregor, like I say, on his way out, he can probably be a centre mid. And then we've got Paulo Bernardo coming back at 79 overall, alongside a Yang Hyun-jun at 74. Kuhn will be replaced. Plus, we should make money on him, which is going to be very fun for next season. However, he was our top scorer, ahead of Dejan Maeda. Engels got a lot of goals despite not having much growth, and the team doesn't have much growth because it's the same position as always, making it a 5th consecutive title for Celtic over Rangers. And I think this is where we make another rule. If we ever do lose to our rival club, lose to them in the league by the way, I think we have to sell our highest rated player, as we might have lost them in the cup because they've gone ahead and won the Scottish one. And we did. We lost 1-0 in the semis to the rivals. That doesn't count as being beaten in the league though, so Maeda stays. And unfortunately, we don't stay in the Champions League because we haven't been bloody put in it. Shocking, I know, but life points, they're a little bit broken, and hopefully they do get better. As if you are enjoying these 25-26 rebuilds or you're new to the channel, please do smash this a like. We're still playing Adamida up front. We're far away from winning the Champions League, so subscribe as well if you're new, because we're on the race to 60,000 subscribers. Buckle up, people. This could be a long one because Callum McGregor is going to be a centre mid for us now, 81 rated, so still higher than Bernardo, who I'll leave out on loan for now because he did go out on a 2-year spell. And we've got to prioritise goalkeeper. We've got Duhan and Sini Stalo, and Duhan was just signed this season by Celtic, so he's technically the keeper rumoured in real life. I can't find any more rumours for in the sticks for Celtic, so we might have to make his own decision. As in the midfield, we need to make a decision. Do we replace Engels or Hatate? I think Engels has more potential, so what I'm going to do is make this move, with Hwang being the sitter, and also, do we get another right winger in? Now, Jota is 27, Kuhn is a little bit younger, but the time has come. A significant amount of money from Sheffield to sign our top scorer, and I have no idea where the Blades got that money from. Still, I'll take it. It's probably the most amount of money we'll ever get in one season here with Celtic. We've got £100 million. We need a keeper. We need a few key positions here, as we do have Yang Hyun-jun to replace our top scorer on the bench still. But this first team, man, I mean, Hwang can't even play in CDM. He's not even ready for it yet. But goalkeeper's got to be first, and Brendan Rodgers already has his old keeper. It worked with Schmeichel at Leicester, so I can't really go down the Brendan Rodgers link route. We're going to have to make our own decision, and having 2 American centre-backs, it would kind of make sense to get an American goalkeeper in Chris Brady. Is he Champions League quality? No, but what do the board expect from the UCL? Ah, okay, we're expected to reach a quarter-final. I kind of like Chris Brady though. What if we brought in 2 #1 keepers, with our second option being Oliver Dobbin, the Swede, from the same country as Nygren, and that gives us 2 73 rated keepers, both on important drills, but more importantly than anything, still 88 million. We're going to have a spending spree, as I know Paulo Bernardo's good, I know Engels is good, I know Hatate is capable, and so is Callum McGregor, but there's a player that Rodgers has worked with and got near to Champions League spots with Leicester City of all teams. It's James Maddison. He's an 84 rated. Yes, he's knocking on a little bit. And I think this is a signing not only for Celtic, but for the entire Scottish League system. I mean, James Maddison above our pay grade. Come on, as Paulo Bernardo literally is coming on, because he's coming back as an 82 overall, which is almost a +10 from when we last saw him. As look at our players, we're getting a lot more 80 rateds now in the Scottish League. And Rangers reached the Europa League final a few seasons ago. Also, Hearts have been bought by Tony Bloom, the Brighton owner. As I genuinely think Scottish football is on the up, and I think it will only keep going that way. Especially when it's entertaining, plenty of goals from Maddison and Maeda, and also Jun from our bench, as this is the starting 11. Now, Hwang hasn't played too much, even though he's a CDM now, 78 rated. I think he'll stay there, as Brady is the goalkeeper that's tucked to the top spot. We've got Dovin on the bench. We've got Nygren down here in the reserves, growing as well. And this is why we didn't spend all of our money. We only spent half on Maddison, because A, I wanted to save money because contracts have gone up a bunch, and B, I trusted our team. It's a younger team now than when we started, and look at that. We win the league yet again. A 6th consecutive title now. The Hoops are destroying Scotland. As yes, I did say it's getting more fair, but at least the cup's always up for debate. Now it's Hearts' turn on penalties after a 4-4 draw in the finale. The Champions League. Oh dear, okay. It's a playoff round. Despite the huge signing of James Maddison, I don't think we'll be there in the Champions League yet. And we are not. We drew Liverpool and lost overall 6-2. Yeah, we're still not there now in Season 3. The Champions League, I think, is a bit off. At least we continue to dominate Scotland, and the Champions League is coming. Once we get this team a bit better, now attack is where I want to focus. Adam Eder up front. He's gone under the radar and not improved. And same as Trusty. I trusted him, bringing in another American linker. That triangle at the back, of course, all from the US of A. However, as you might have seen, I put Engels on the bench. Now I'm going to do this, though, or change that around, take Trusty out, make J1 a centre-back. As yes, he's not left-footed, but this man is our Swiss Army knife. I thought he could play centre-back by his stats, and it only takes him 2 weeks. I mean, last year when we rebuilt Daegu, I had him down as a right winger. The man can do it all, as now we need someone who can just do the goal scoring. As now 60 million to spend, I'm guessing a little bit of that budget from last season's trickled over. If only we just had Jamie Vardy, though. That was the player I wanted. However, really, really old and retired. And one thing that I've just watched in real life is the Euros under-20 ones. And I am wearing my German shirt, so I think you might put the dots together. But no, I'm not going to go in for Nick Woltermeid. He should have moved to Bayern Munich. In real life by now, he was sensational. And then this man was Paul Nebel, 24, but these two aren't the Germans I'm looking for. I'm looking for this man, Nicolo Tresoldi. He's made a move to Roma, but I am desperate to get this man in. I really want to see the German go up front for us and grab goals. He's the only German here, so I'm trusting him on his own with the support of James Maddison to maybe this year get us in a quarter-final. And 29 goals for him and 27 for Maddison. Safe to say they definitely have worked as a very nice partnership, as our bench at the moment is kind of strong. Of course, Eder's now grown, now he's benched. Nygren the same, and Trusty, because he has took over Hwang Jae-hong, who was injured. He's just come back from an injury, and can you actually blame him? As he's playing everywhere on the field. Oh my. Right, that is a very close one. We won the league on goal difference, meaning Rangers did not beat us. We do not have to sell our best player. And of course, it's a trophy in the bank, but I don't like how actually close that was. A little bit too close for comfort, as Rangers are in the Scottish Cup final, which hasn't took place yet. We were beaten by Ross County in round 1. Little bit of a stinker of a season, or should I say a big one. It is 26th in the Champions League, meaning we're immediately out. That's the first time that's happened in a while to us. Celtic are in the mud. Despite having this team, I think Brendan Rodgers would have been sacked by now. As where do we actually improve it? The bench has grown. The first team, I think we need to go out there and get a winger to actually deliver us more goals. However, it looks like our budget is dipping now, 53 million. Of course, we've not sold the players to make the money, so it's actually no surprise to me. However, if we want a world-class winger, which I honestly think think Celtic deserve by now. I don't want to sell Jota, but one of our wingers in Nygren or Yang, but Yang does get quite a few goals. I don't want to sell Nygren though, because he's on the left. We'll have Jota on the bench for the right. And the Iheanacho is still here, despite the Nigeria flag being similar to the Celtic colours. It just has not been a match for the striker. And I think that means selling season for him, but he's not the first one out the door. It is Yang Hyun-jun to West Brom for 7.3 million. Then we've got Mark Tilio. He's going to Coventry City. And despite accepting every offer, I can't get Iheanacho out of Celtic. Probably due to his wages, as one thing I can't believe I haven't done so far is actually sign a Scottish player at a Scottish team. How have I not done this? However, right wing wise, the position we need, there's no one actually good enough. Or is there, because of the player at Liverpool? Is he a youngster at Liverpool? Yes, he is. Ben Doak. He's now 22, playing at Lyonnais, a team that's getting a relegation in real life, which is absolutely mind-blowing. And correct me if I'm wrong, hasn't this man been at Celtic before? And actually, with his price being high, this might be our only signing this season. Money's been tight. And as you can see, it was tight at the top of the Scottish League because the 6th consecutive title is the last one. Rangers have won it. I can't believe it. It is 2 points, and I think on the final day they beat us. I'm going to have to go and check the calendar. I think I'm correct in saying that. As they're in the final of the Scottish Cup as well against Hearts, which has always been the game. And we've never made it to the Cup final. Motherwell this time. Yes, she's good. And yes, I'm right. As you can see, we beat Hearts 3-2, and then Rangers was a 3-1 loss on the final day of the Scottish season. Meaning we're going to have to sell our best player. And to be fair, okay, Tresoldi's only 85 overall. It will be James Maddison, which I'm not too angry about as well. At least it isn't Maeda. James Maddison's not increased in his overall. He's 32. We've got away with one. However, we will be missing some assists. He got 7 goals himself. Ben Doak got a few. Then Tresoldi. And then our main man still Dyson Maeda. And despite a 3rd place finish in the Champions League, a 4-3 win over Real Madrid, we crashed out of the competition to Athletic Club 5-4 this time. And if you believe it, Bologna actually went and won the whole tournament. I've said the name of the team right for once, as this team is really good, you know. We've got a team carry in Maeda. Yes, he's now 31-year-old. Maddison is going to leave if we can select him, and he's going to make us a bit of money. Then we've got the youngster Tresoldi. Yes, we're going to have to give him a better contract. The youngster Ben Doak, only 23, and is the Flying Scotsman. On the wing, alongside 83 million, must have been through the Champions League run, because we didn't go ahead and win in Scotland. And yes, that's without the Maddison money. As any bids in straight away for him? Yes, and a move back to Leicester. That is plus a player. And a move back to London. Brentford, the Bees. I'm going to accept the one that is more money. So Brendan Rodgers, ex-player from his Leicester days, now goes to Brentford for almost 100 million. Taking us to 180. And now we need a centre mid. And then a striker, maybe? Or actually, no. I'll trust Anamida. We need a right back and a centre mid for the bench, even. Or Hatate can actually go there. Now, goalkeeper would be the sensible option, but a big centre half who is left-footed. I do love Hwang, but there is a left-footed Irish centre-back playing in the Premier League in Cashin, who just seems to fit this Celtic team like a glove, and allow Hwang to be a backup now. He can go back to right back. It's going to take a while, but I do trust him out there. After all, he can play any position. He could even be the new centre mid, but I am going to go big with our cash. With Mikel Yaragitha, who was at Athletic Club, who beat us in the Champions League. And this man commits so many fouls a game, it's unreal. He is going to love Scottish football, getting stuck in there with his hard tackling, which is maybe what we were missing with James Maddison. Now he's lower rated, but I'm not done with our business there. One more signing with the money left. And this last one is another filler position for the bench. Welcome Jonathan David. He's come as his second choice at BVB, but in real life, the moment, I think he's a free agent. And maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it wasn't, as this is the Celtic team. Genuinely glorious, apart from the injury to Ben Doak. But David on the bench. Jonathan has been playing ahead of Tresoldi, the youngster I wanted to use, so now he's into the squad. Very, very good looking. Rating-wise, we're absolutely up there, as Dyson Maeda now 90 32-year-old, but a 90 overall. And the captain of Celtic, with them stats, 98 pace, and the most goals in the team. He got 38. Jonathan David with 34. Let's hope we're back on top in Scotland. Let's hope our title's back here with us, as yes it is. As you can see, 90 points. Rangers were muddered. It's not a consecutive trophy for the first time, but it is the reclaiming of one. And we're still not doing well in the Scottish Cup. This time won by St Johnstone. We're beaten by Ross County again. Hearts beaten by St Johnstone. And I mean, if we're not winning the Scottish Cup, what chance do we have for the Champions League? Well, maybe a decent chance, actually, because we did finish third, only by 2 points, behind Sociedad, and the comeback of all comebacks against Red Bull Leipzig, the team that wanted Nicholas Kuhn in that first season. Then we beat Sociedad, who did top them charts. Then we hammered Bayer Leverkusen, meaning Celtic will be in the final in this 5th season. Unlucky last year, and we did beat Real Madrid last year, who we face in the cup final. This is a huge one. The Tifo out for Larson, as we have a Swede winger on the bench and Ben Doak in the reserves. Yes, you heard me right. He's got a bloody injury, so Jota was selected, not Nargen, as Real Madrid are not going to be easy to beat despite our ratings and despite Jonathan David up front. Now Jota on the wing. He's loved by the fans. Can we love him in this finale? I think a shot is on for him, and Restes with the palm, which I thought was going to go into the back of his own net, as now Engels, that was meant to go back to the man who run around him still. A shooting opportunity for Cashin on the left foot. And that is actually his strongest one. I think next time Maeda's probably the best option to do the shooting, as now Berger with the ball forward onto Brian and Mbeumo, wanted by every team it seems. Mazraoui, two players that potentially could be Manchester United link-ups. Terrible tackle, still haven't got the ball, it's passed all around the back. And that's finally a tackle by Johnson. As we are struggling in this game, of course, we couldn't mess with tactics. And Mbeumo, big save by Conor Brady, our American goalkeeper. But Real Madrid are toying with us. Now Jota's actually got the ball away. Can we look towards the left? Kieran Tierney's been here all the time, and he's actually increased. But we'll skip him into Maeda, who skips away from defenders. Jonathan David. The defenders made a terrible move. It is David through, and it's a save, but it's in the back of the net. The Canadian makes it 1-0 hoops. And I have no idea how this has happened. We've literally been dominated. Goal on the counter-attack, and it is Jarageetha taking all the plaudits. The camera getting stuck on him, but Jonathan David, a chip over the top from yours truly, Maeda, and a brilliant finish. However, I'm trying not to get too excited. Really good goal, yes, but Real Madrid, a really good team, and that is why I didn't get overly happy. Genuinely can't believe that's just happened. Brian Mbeumo, a shot which was saved, and then straight into the path of Vinicius Jr. We're not getting demolished per se, but we're just definitely not the best team in this game. But can we do it on the counters like Al Hilal did to Man City? In real life, that is a ball stuck towards the back post in Jota. And we are going to win a corner ball. We're going to give it Engels into Jarageetha. Now Engels with the cross. He's looking for the centre half in the middle. It falls to Cashin onto Johnson. Shot deflected to the other Canadian. And it's the second lucky goal. Canadian to Canadian. It is Jonathan David with the brace. Did I say lucky in that move? I think I did. There's a deflection and then just chests it down and then acrobatically puts it in the back of the net. 2-1 against the run of play is now Engels. Arnie Engels, the defensive midfielder now. He's good at dribbling out. Jonathan David on a hat-trick. Can't slide near him. He might just have to take the shot on from there. Looking for that hat-trick as Dazan. Can you feed him again? He's gave him the ball, but it looks like Dazan's making a better run off it. 98 pace. Can he keep on going? Can he try and shoot now? Score the third goal? For us, that is, as he gets the ball back. We still are trying to attack despite being second best all game. As Jarageetha down into Maeda. Hat-trick maybe for Jonathan David. Really good save by Restes. However, I think when they pass the ball forward, the game is brought to an end. Despite being second best, Celtic take that Champions League title, and it's got to be Maeda lifting the trophy. Set up that first goal, and I believe we should have got up to 61 Scottish titles now. Not all in this video, of course, and if you did enjoy this one and you are a neutral of Scotland, Rangers is already on the channel. Maybe that offends some of you guys. Maybe YouTube recommends you differently, as click my hands for what YouTube think you should watch.